Hey guys, T-Live here, and today we're going to take a look at the very first Tier 8 premium aircraft carrier to enter World of Warships Blitz, the USS Enterprise. Yay! It's here! I know this is one of the aircraft carriers that the CV guys have been waiting for a very long time, and it has finally arrived. So, thought we would take a look at it today, give you guys a rundown on the stats compared to the Lexington and the Shokaku. I am going to go probably a little bit deeper into the stats on this boat than I normally do, and the biggest reason for that is that typically I just do a real quick rundown of some of the highlights of the stats, and then show you guys gameplay footage. I am by no means a great player. I do okay in most surface combatants. I am a terrible carrier player. And so rather than embarrassing myself greatly in front of the limited audience that I do have, I'm going to just spend most of the time just kind of comparing the stats between the three boats. The carrier drivers, the guys who are interested in this boat, aren't going to gain much by watching me fumble around attempting to be effective with it. I think you guys will get more from my video, at least, by just kind of seeing where the numbers lie compared to what you guys know already. I do have a couple of clips for you, especially I've got a couple torpedo drop clips. Much like the Saipan at Tier 7, the torpedo bomber squadron on Enterprise here does have a narrowing cone, so it starts out wide and narrows down towards the end of the torpedo's run distance. Yeah, I struggled with it a little bit. And then I do have a couple minutes worth of the end of one game where yeah, well, I don't want to ruin it. We'll get to that. So let's take a look here and see. I did take the historical camo off and the equipment off, just because on this account, as you can see, I don't have anything set up on the other two boats. So these are going to be base stats without any modifiers, just so you guys can kind of get a comparison for where the boat does fall. So Enterprise is a Yorktown class, which is pretty cool. It's a good looking boat. Never was a fan of the funnel in the Lexington. I thought it looked funny. This one's a little more streamlined. But anyways, 32,450 hit points, which is, you can see, 5,000 less than the Lexington, but a little bit of a bump up from the Shokaku. Wow, never realized how low the health pool is on the Shokaku. Pretty basic stats there for protections. 31.68 knots. So lowest actually of the three. It does have 4 guns each side, 127 millimeter 5-inch guns, kind of like what you find on the destroyers or the Atlanta. Actually decent fire chance. It's only 3%, but I seem to get a fair number of fires out of the gun hits that I took, or gun shots that I took rather. And then let's get here into the planes, because I know that's what everybody wants to see. So dive bombers, you do get a total of 30 of them. You get 2 squadrons, 4 bombers each. To kind of show you, so it does have a larger pool of dive bombers. It also gives you 2 squadrons of, what was it, 4? Yeah, instead of 1 of 5 compared to Lexington. And then you can see it does have a few more bombers and 1 extra plane per bomber than the Shokaku gets. Prep time 3.3, 3.9 on the Lexington, 4.4 on the Shokaku, so you're going to be able to get those guys out closer together. Hit points 1758 on the bombers. Oops. So you can see they're about 200 points less than the Lexington's bombers are, but quite a bit more health. Oops, there we go, 1723 for the, so about the same durability as what the Shokaku gets. Bomb damage, 1652. Quite a bit less than Lexington. You can see 2,000 for the Lexington's bombers, and then 1,200 for the Shokaku. So kind of in the middle there. And then fire chance is definitely an important feature. 60% on the Lexington, 45 on the Enterprise, and an appalling 25% on the Shokaku. So I didn't get the numbers crunched. I might come back and add that little statistic later. But I felt like I got a fair number of fires out of the hits that I did get. So very limited carrier driving experience. So torpedo bombers, you do get 21 of them total. 1 squadron, 5 bombers. So you're getting 5 torps in the water at a time. So a few fewer bombers than the Lexington carry, same number of squadrons, same number of bombers per squadron, so that's the same there. A few fewer than the Shokaku as well. Japanese carriers, as you guys know, usually you get 2 squadrons of torpedo bombers, which is kind of a nice thing. I screwed that up, didn't I? That was a Jingles moment. Anyways, Shokaku does get 2 squadrons of 4. So you get 1 of 5 on the Enterprise, and like I said, the Enterprise, the torp cone does narrow as the torps run further. So it did make it a little bit more of a challenge. I thought you had to leave the targets a little bit better, and you had to drop the torpedoes a little bit further out. What I found was if you tried to drop the torpedoes right at the edge of their arming distance, you'd only get a couple of hits because the spread is so wide at that point that it was harder to hit. You had to drop a little further out, lead the target, and hope you got lucky. So, or good if you're better than me. Anyways, where were we? So prep time 3.2 seconds, 3.5 on the Lexington, 4.5 on the Shokaku. So definitely gonna get your bombers up a little bit quicker. Hit points 1581, 2000. So definitely they're a lot more fragile than the Lexington's torpedo bombers. A little bit more fragile than the Shokaku's. Torpedo damage, 1947. 1947, so they do the same amount of damage as the Lexington's torpedoes. A little bit less than the Shokaku's, so it's not totally unheard of. 3.6 kilometer range, same as the Lexington, a little bit shorter than the Shokaku. And then flooding chance, 14%, which looks like it's pretty standard across the board. Fighters. Enterprise does get 2 squadrons of fighters, a total of 21. 2 squadrons, 3 fighters each. So you get a few more fighters than the Lexington gets. You get 1 more squadron, 1 fewer fighter per squadron. Same thing here. You get only 18 fighters on the Shokaku, so you get a few more with Enterprise. And so 1 squadron, 4 fighters. They're definitely not as strong, though. I found myself losing fighters to both Lexington and Shokaku. It could largely be due to the fact that I am a terrible CV player and I'm really, really bad with fighters. It also could be that they're weaker. It looks like the numbers are a little bit lower. Fighter hit points, 1428. 2,000 on the Lexington, 2,053. And almost 1,800 on the Shokaku. So the fighters are definitely a lot more fragile on Enterprise. Damage 144 to 166 on Enterprise, 173. So they're also not putting out as many damage, despite the fact that there is an extra fighter per squadron. Attack efficiency 70%, which matches Lexington's and is a little bit higher than Shokaku's at 65. Dogfight efficiency is 60%, 60%. 60% across the board, so that's going to be the same. AA defenses, 151 for large caliber, 295 for small. So you can see it's about half of the large caliber damage Lexington puts out, a little bit more of the small caliber. And it's definitely, again, less large caliber, more small caliber. And then surface section 9.8. is quite a bit less than Lexington's 12 kilometers. You can see Lexington damn near all the way across the map, and it's just about a kilometer better than Shokaku. So it does have the best concealment of the 3 as well. Oh, let's look at some of these stats over here. What do we got? Upgrade. So for your elite ship bonus, you do have elite ground service, which is going to bump your prep time by 5% for all 3. Or you can take advanced dive bombers, which is 2% to bomb damage, 7% to fire chance. When I was playing it, I took elite ground service. I don't know if that was the right one or not, but it seemed like it was the most beneficial. Camouflage, historical camouflage. Let's just take a look, see what it looks like. It's not a bad looking camouflage, if you ask me. So there's that. You can see typical buffs to aircraft damage, or to bomb damage, torpedo damage, surface detection. Pretty typical stuff there. Commander skills. Carrier seems to be pretty straightforward. I mean, there's a couple things that are specific to carriers that you're probably going to go with. The boat does get defensive AA, and so I did buff that for my captain here, as you can see. We were going to take a look at that. So you do get 2 defensive AAs. So that'll help a little bit, I guess. And let's take a peek at the equipment. Oh, not that one, this one. I'm sure you carrier guys know what all of these do. For the games I was running, I did take fighter modification. Don't know if that was right or not, but it seemed like since my fighters were a little weaker, I wanted to make them as good as I could. So I took that, and then I took fire reduction, and I took the torpedo damage reduction. So just figured if I was going to get torped or carrier sniped, wanted all the help I could get there. So anyways, that's the gist of it, guys. I do believe this is coming out Thursday. I'm recording this on Tuesday night. I'm going to get my video up here in a couple minutes. I have no idea what kind of event they're doing, if it's just going to be for sale, if there's going to be victory blitz or what. Your guess is as good as mine. We'll find out on Thursday. So yeah, let's jump into the gameplay, and we'll see what we've got there for you guys.
Attack target! Dive Bomber Squadron, airborne. Dive Bomber Squadron, flying out.
Alright, so this was just to show you guys kind of how the torps run. The bombers, dive bombers are so RNG that no point in really showing those, but this was a couple of my better torpedo drops. I had a few others that were pretty good, and of course I wasn't recording, so anyways, this one is just the last little clip I was going to show you guys. I was pushing up. I swear it was a good idea when I did it, and then I quickly realized that I was about to get my ass handed to me, so I did throw it in reverse to try to stay alive as long as I could. I went back and looked real quick, and for the games I recorded where I've got the stats, it looks like I was running about a 30% fire rate on my bomb hits, so a little bit lower than what was expected, but I mean, ultimately I was pretty happy with that. So anyways, want to say thank you guys for taking the time to watch the video, and for those of you who have subscribed, thank you so much for that. I do appreciate it. Let me know what you think in the comments, unless you're going to comment on my play, in which case I already know. Just trust me, I already know. I am going to try and get an Exeter video out in the next couple of days. That's the new reward ship for the second Blitz Pass that they just launched today. So I'm going to try and get that video out here pretty quick. That one looks like it might be fun too, and a little bit more up my alley. So I'll hopefully get some good gameplay footage on that one. So as this battle wraps up here, I want to say thanks again, guys. Appreciate it, and see you guys out there.